He was playing unbelievable as well. Obviously at 14 I found out I was released by Chelsea. I thought it was the end. I was thinking, what am I going to do next?
So I'm here with Declan Rice, and you've brought me to Kingston because you still live around here. But why have you brought me here today?
Well, a couple of reasons. This is the place where I mainly grew up. This is where my fondest memories are as a kid. My mum and dad, you know, it's probably started with them a few generations back, and then my brothers, and then obviously I'm the latest one to have come through.
Wait, you just brought up your mum and dad.
Yeah.
You said this place is special for your mum and dad too.
Well, this is where my mum and dad met. But yeah, that's my cousin Harrison there with me, obviously showing the cousin love. There's another one, another one of me there, another one of me there as well.
Look how small you look.
When you're growing up though, when you're young, like everything seems bigger. Like now it looks tiny.
Yeah.
You used to think, how did we used to score in them goals?
And
like,
with all the people playing.
Yeah, I know.
So from playing in this football cage, you then signed for Chelsea when you're like, what, 7?
I was 8, yeah. As a kid, I actually never played for like a Sunday league team. Luckily enough, my cousin, Taylor, he was already at Chelsea. And my cousin was like, to the scout, you need to get him down. They then offered me a 6-week trial. And I remember after like 5 weeks in, we played Swindon. We won 2-0. I remember actually scoring. And after that, I remember the academy manager saying that they want to sign me. And then in the week, I was signed.
I just remember times where he was out here and we were standing sort of just over there playing football with bare feet for hours and hours, and only he'd sit and kick a football at you for 3, 4, 5 hours if you'd let him.
But you can clearly see that this was your like special place.
Special place, but also like my second home. From the earliest days I can remember, you know, primary school, secondary school, you know, I'd run home from school, take off all my gear, put on all my football gear and come over here. Like Saturdays I'd make my mum drop me here at opening time at 10, pick me up at 6, obviously playing snooker, pool, table tennis, we had the tennis court, and I'd go home sweating out, what have you been doing? Like my mud everywhere, trainers.
He balanced his life well. He was always there, he was here a lot, and if he wasn't here, he was training. And you know, that was basically, I think, his life.
Growing up in Chelsea's academy, I don't think there's a better place to grow up and make yourself a better player. But then as it got older, you know, it got a bit more tougher. 13 and 14, I started to go for a growth spurt, like really bad. My body and everything else was completely out of place, and obviously at 14, I found out I was released by Chelsea.
How do you get told that? Like, who tells you that?
It was the assistant academy manager. He called my dad. I remember it was a Tuesday night. I come home from school, my brothers were around, my mum was there, and my dad come in from work, obviously had the call. We was all expecting me to get another contract. Yeah. And my dad said the news, like, they chose not to renew you. I thought it was the end. Like, I was thinking, what am I going to do next?
Just spent most of his time, to be honest, playing football. That's all he wanted to do. He's the best sportsman I've ever seen by a country mile. He probably could have been professional at whatever sport he chose. He was that talented.
Do you still hide the good bats? Yeah, I knew that. See, look, I knew they hid the good bats. That's why I've got this bat.
He's really easy to get along with, really nice, quite cheeky. Didn't really get into too much troubles here. I remember he broke his arm once falling off a slide here. And
then even on here, what, playing football in the snow?
Yeah, that was our special game. So every year it'd probably only snow once or twice in England. And we had to make the most of snow football. Yeah, we used to play like silly rules. Like if you got caught chucking a snowball at someone, it would be like a goal to the other team. And Dan used to be the ref and be all biased about it, and he used to kick off.
I've been here just over 20 years now. I came as a young 20-year-old and sort of fell in love with it.
I'm not sure about this bat. You put me with a bad bat.
Talk to me a bit about Dan and how special he's been for you in your life.
From the moment I could probably walk, you know, he was always chucking a football at me, probably 2 years old, 3 years old. My mum used to rely on him a lot. He was pretty much like a second dad over here to me. Mum used to just throw me with Dan and go, Dan, look after him. Don't worry, I'll look after him. Yeah, no, we all love Dan, you know, in the family, everyone knows him. And if Dan wasn't in this part, you know, the part wouldn't be the same. So I'm never going to hear the end of this. Fair and square, fair and square. Mate, he's good, you know. Last time we come, he smashed me at snooker as well.
I've been here 20 years, man.
Oh, off and running with the Reds already. Yes! Sorry.
I'll sit down for a bit.
When you were a kid and you used to lose at table tennis or pool or anything, how were you?
I used to find it hard to take, I'm not going to lie, especially if it was against someone that I thought I could have beat. Even when we used to play football in the K's, like tournaments, everything, on Thursday nights, I always just want to win. I think that's why I got barred with it, because I give you a betting shot.
Yeah. They barred you?
That's a shot.
Wait.
What a shot.
Oh, no! Oh my gosh!
She was playing unbelievable as well, that's the thing, I was actually getting scared.
So the next day you went and trained with Fulham, then you went to West Ham. What made you choose West Ham?
You know what, I just wanted a complete different challenge. Like, I just thought I'd go and fit in well, you know, the lads were really good. New lifestyle, obviously having to move away.
So at 14 you moved?
Yeah, so I moved from here and I moved into our digs in Romford. But it was tough, like at the start, I was really homesick. Like, miss mum, miss dad, miss my brothers. You know, being in the digs, especially in Romford, it's not like they could just drive there in 5 minutes and come see me, like it's 2 hours away. I remember at one stage, it got that tough that we actually thought about packing it in. And I was going to travel in every day, like just on the train. You know what, looking back at it now, I think if I probably didn't stay in the digs, it probably wouldn't have made me into like the person I am today. I think I needed something like that, you know, to man me up.
And I suppose you still being young and then going into the senior team, the men's team. How's that? How was that going straight into like the senior team then? Walking in that kind of environment and changing room?
Like, I got called up for the pre-season, and then the next thing, my name's been put up like in the first team changing room. And I remember it was like Andy Carroll, Cresswell, it was like James Collins, Noble, and I was like sat on the corner and their seats were like there, and I'd look at their names like that, and I was like, they'd walk into the change room and I would just sit there like that, like didn't know what to say. Once they start talking to you, like they start bringing you into things, you know, you start to settle down and you start to become really confident around them, and you know, now that's exactly what it's like.
I want to ask you about as well, because you said about looking up to these players on the names and like being ball boys, the characters, the different sort of characters in the changing room.
Obviously the main one that's probably helped me the most has been Mark Noble. You know, he's 33 now, but we've got such a close relationship. Sometimes we'll go for dinner, we'll talk about the game, we call each other on the phone. Obviously me being 20, obviously him 33, people would think like, why do them two knock around with each other so much? But we are generally that close. The local hero thing is so weird being labelled that, because I don't like talking about it. I get really weird and embarrassed, because obviously, like I just said, I feel like I'm just still the same normal person, but to them it's like a massive thing. Like, and it's really good that, you know, I still come down here and I still see the kids and I still put the time and effort in, because obviously they've seen me come from Kingston playing the K's, you know, they're probably looking up to me thinking, like, if he can do it, I can. And, you know, that's what I want them to think as well, you know. It's never easy, but I think if you stick at it and always enjoy your football, you know, you never know what's around the corner.
So look, I've had a blast. I feel like I've been on a journey with you, to being in here, the community centres, the photos.
We could be here all day talking about it.
But for you, like, what does your hometown mean to you?
It means everything. You know, growing up as a Kingston boy, being born in Kingston, the whole family being from Kingston. You know, I'm grateful that I can come back to places like this now, you know, as a superstar, and, you know, give back to the kids that, you know, want to be like where I am.
Oh, we're all incredibly proud of what he's done, you know, what he's achieved. You know, it's amazing what he's achieved, and it's amazing he still comes back here and sees us and comes back and plays football with the young people, and popped in the other day for a game of snooker with me and stuff like that. You know, he's still, you know, to us he's still Dec. You know, the same Dec he's always been. Yeah, he's a famous footballer now, but he's still the same Dec.